inspiration and marketing savvy to go henceforth, forthwith, and destroy those dents with a lovely cup of tea and a stiff of a lip. Attention for those dent guys. Bravo, chaps.
What's up, motherflunkers? How are you tonight?
How on earth did I end up here?
How do we all end up here? That's the question we ask ourselves every show.
Every show, for sure.
Welcome to Those Dent Guys with him.
Martin Sadler, Dent Remover. And
I'm Ben Ridley, off of Trident PDR. And we're joined by...
Colin Wood from Woodpecker UK.
Oh,
my God.
The only scripted part of this show is our wardrobe, and that's it.
We've got the chops tonight, look.
That's impressive, is that, Martin? Yeah, I've got to say that. I'm impressed with that. Martin, Ben, I'm disappointed.
Well, to be honest with you, mate, it was actually me who started it. I did this last week, but stupidly, I had a shave too close to the show, and it wasn't long enough. I couldn't pull it off.
Yeah.
You know? So I'm glad Martin could. Happy days.
I've got lots of hair. I'm like a bear.
Was that a bear with a sore paw?
Straight out of hibernation.
Cheers, guys.
Oh, my life. Cheers. Welcome to the show, man.
Cheers.
As if you're drinking water. Get out.
I am drinking water, and I've got a lemonade for later on. Look.
Don't make me look like the reprobate of a show.
Well, our lass brought us a glass of water earlier, and I'm like, what's that going to do? Get me some of the beer.
There you go.
Not tea.
But I'm starting with a cup of tea, though.
No, Cole's well versed. He knows how it goes. You just fill your teacup up with beer.
That's what we did. Like I did the other week.
That's all we do. That's literally all we did for season 1. No, standards have dropped now. We're just unashamedly drinking like episodes. Season 3 will be out of the brown paper bag.
Yeah.
Welcome to Those 10 guys.
Dear.
I
Right,
don't know.
shall I have a quick roll call? Let's see who's joining us tonight. Those
21
Dent guys says sort it out. That must have been the introduction. Boss man.
Sorry, mate.
Bobby, Simon, Mark, Dave, Dent Delete, Ian, Brian, Sam, Keith, Graham, Dave, Bobby, Kevin, Graham. Hello to all.
I'll chuck some up on screen there. Look,
Thanks
mate.
very much.
There we go. Keith then says he's got no sound. Have you still got no sound, mate? Or was it just my bad button pushing at the start of the show that made it sound like we had no sound? It's probably me. I'm all over the shop. I'm all fingers and thumbs again. Look.
Fingers and thumbs. Yeah, that was a quick intro today because I think last time I was at it for 5 minutes, wasn't I? Hello to everyone. Hello to everyone.
It's like a running high five just running down the crowd.
It was that time, yeah.
It's like the ultimate warrior running to the ring, isn't it?
Right, then, what are we talking about today? Oh, yeah, Colin Wood.
That's right. So,
He would if he could.
What do you know? What do you know, Colin? What do you know?
Well, I know it's a pretty strange year for me.
And that's it for those Dent guys. See us next time.
And that's it in a nutshell.
Sorry, as yours.
What does it say on Top Gear? And on that bombshell.
That's it, yeah. We've lost all the Top Gear slogans or whatever it is.
Nightmare.
So
Yeah, with the advent of Brexit since January,
Oh, Jesus Christ!
I have been glued to gov.uk websites and stuff like that, and German embassy websites, and just reading reams and reams and reams of legal jargon that doesn't make any sense whatsoever and contradicts each other.
So this is all based primarily around you being a Hail Tech, trying to get away working, as so many of us have been, were, whatever.
What do you know? I know a number of guys have actually gone over there, and they're making it work. Myself, I had plenty of other little irons in the fire, and figured I'd put some efforts into that rather than risk going over there on a tourist visa or something and getting my handcuffs on. It's another story, but having once spent a night in the cells in France because I tried buying a bag of onions with a €20 note that turned out to be dodgy.
Oh,
I don't particularly want to be doing that again.
Shouldn't do that
experience.
I don't think it would be.
Fair play to you, man. There's nothing wrong with being prepared. And I know everyone was sort of, all the Hail Techs were a bit probably on edge coming up to this season with so much to consider. Both COVIDs, Brexits, this, that, and the other. It's nice to see some folk getting involved and getting it done. And yeah, it's a weird time for us all, really, isn't it?
Definitely.
Yeah, it is.
So you're busy? Are you busy?
I'm insanely busy. Not making a huge amount of money, but I'm insanely busy for various reasons. So with the till side of it, we've got all sorts of stuff going on. Trying to get the new website up to speed and keeping up with orders with that. Basically learning new skills as well. Who said you can't teach an old dog new tricks? This little guy behind me here.
I was going to say, what's that black box? What's that you're trying to hide while in boxes?
It's a 3D printer, but it's a fancy dual extruder, dual independent extruder, so it can make two products at the same time. It's an incredible piece of kit. And something which I've had to learn an awful lot of stuff to be able to get to use. And it's like many things, it's a learning curve. And it's a steep learning curve. It's hard work, it is, but we're getting there. And it does some impressive stuff. I'm very pleased with it.
So you got the hang of it then?
I'm getting there, yeah.
Can you make handcuffs on it?
More importantly, mate, are you going to start producing glue tabs?
Yeah.
My gut feeling is no.
Well, there you go.
Basically, because I think that's a fairly crowded marketplace, and I can see many opportunities elsewhere, and let the people that know about glue pulling deal with glue pulling.
Fair play. Well,
each to his own. And I came into glue pulling. Granted, it's a fair few years ago now, but there are people way better at glue pulling than I am, and know a damn sight more about it than I do. I've been concentrating in other fields, and it's. I think that's best left to the likes of Kiko.
There you go. Fair play to you. Fair play. I'll tell you what, before we get into all the tool stuff and what you've got going on that side and this, that, and the other, why don't we have a little trip down memory lane? And,
God, we're going to be here all night, aren't we?
Can we have the abridged version?
I'm not sure if there is one. So, where do we start?
Hang on a minute. Mate. Just before you do start, I'm just going to get the old jargon buster up on the iPad so I can keep everyone filled in when you start talking technical stuff.
But he's already mentioned the 3D printer. I think that was technical enough for me.
Lost me there, mate.
Well, do you know what? I think where I am in the industry today started way back when I was younger than 10 years old. Right? Seriously. Because during the war...
Evening, Leon. How you doing, buddy?
Oh, dear.
Basically, when all my mates was, back home watching Scooby-Doo or kicking a football around or something, all I wanted to do was be in the garage with my dad. And my dad, bless him, he was a mechanic that had the sort of the notion that everything could be fixed. None of this, I'll just buy a new one and fit it. If it's broken, let's fix it. And that was kind of instilled into me, and it led me to understand a lot about engineering and all manner of stuff that how stuff's put together and how to fix it, And as I got through my career and got to where I am now, when I look at something and think, that's not great, it could be better because of this, and I can fairly easily come up with a solution for it. Yeah. One thing I'm looking at here, this little tool. I know it's a drill, but that is what would you call it? You would call it a female drill. I've recently bought some components, which when they came, they didn't comply with the tolerances that I specified. So
I just like to point out that other genders are available.
Other genders are available, but when you have a spigot that's supposed to be 10 millimeters and it's actually 10.2,
what's a spigot?
Spigot. It's a cylindrical formation that protrudes from a face. Yeah, we're on. So I had to reduce this spigot by a fifth of a millimeter, and I was wandering around my workshop looking for something to modify, and I found a roll bolt.
I know what you're on about, but I can't say out.
I just drilled the center of it, cut it with a cutting disc, put it on an 8mm bolt, put it in the drill stand, and hey presto, that's the tool that does the job. Instead of having to send all the stuff back and get it all remanufactured, and at whatever cost that would have been, we've just solved it with a bit of rusty tin.
Always thinking.
But when I left school, I did an apprenticeship for a plastics company, actually. And it was basically for maintaining, installing, and anything to do with the machinery that manufactured the plastic. And actually, this thing behind me is a miniature version of the extruders that we used back when I was 17, 18 years old. So a lot of the stuff that does, I already understand. It's just in real miniature. I left there at 21 years old. I did 24-hour recovery on police rotors and stuff like that for 3 or 4 years, driving trucks around. Love that. Love getting up and down the country. I'm pretty good with geography and stuff. Hate sat navs with a passion. I think
was you a map person? Was you?
You could have seen me driving down Edgware Road into London with an A to Z pint at steering wheel. Yeah.
Pint to the steering wheel.
Map in one hand, cup of tea in the other.
Yeah, driving with your knee.
Yeah, didn't really.
Not
honestly.
Driving with knees.
No, didn't do any of that.
70 tops.
And I ended up as a maintenance manager for a coach company, of all things. And that was okay. It was a reasonable job. It was reasonably well paid. And then it was a small company, husband and wife team. They got divorced. She was the brains behind it, and it all fell apart. So I said to the boss, look, I don't mind doing all these extra jobs, but how about a raise? He said, no, can't afford it. And I thought, that's it. I'm out.
Yeah.
And I just picked up the newspaper, and it was one of the evenings where I'd got home and I didn't care what I did. I just wanted something else. And it was literally a matter of, eeny, meeny, miny, dip, I'll have that one or that one. Seriously, it was that. I was so absolutely fed up. And one of the jobs was a fork truck mechanic in Oldham. And the other one was this company called Dentmaster UK, which I've never heard of.
Who's that?
Yeah, never heard of them. Yeah. This was sort of late 93, this. And I'd actually got an interview, got the job, and I'd been working as a fork truck mechanic for 3 weeks before I even heard from Dentmaster. So when they contacted me and said, how about an interview, I thought, well, I can't have let's have a go. And I went to see Lance. He told me what they did. And I thought, do you know what? If half of what he's saying is true, there's a market for that. Because I'd done car transport in past life, doing dealer transfers and whatnot. I knew what a huge problem having a small dent on a car door was. You know, if you don't check that car when you're loading the car up, and when you drop it off, somebody finds a damage on it. If it's not on my sheet, I end up getting blamed for it. So I knew it was a huge problem in the industry.
Yeah. And
I thought, if half of what this guy is saying is true, there's a real market for that. So I went back to work, and I'm there leaning against my bench, you know, on a Saturday morning with my cup of tea.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah, and you know, yeah.
And I looked across the workshop, and there's a guy over there, bless him, he'd been there for 17 years, and he was earning exactly what I was earning. And I thought, I don't want to be here in 17 years doing this. I want to be doing something better, or I just don't want to stand still for 17 years. So I rang Lance up and said, right, I'm in. Went down to London with another technician from Bolton, Paul Martin. Some of you may know him. And me and Paul were the 4th and 5th technicians that Dentmaster employed back in the day. What are you grinning at?
I'm just gonna interrupt. Your main man's in the comments section going off on. I'm sorry.
He rang me this morning and gave me grief.
just make sure you put your phone on silent, because he's just going to be hounding you.
Do you know what? That's a good idea. I'm going to put my... Jason, I'm going to put... That's my cat, by the way.
I'll tell you what we need to do. I'm going to rig my phone up to the Bluetooth on this desk, and we ought to get Jason as a guest. But let's get through Cole's story first.
Right. So, Paul and I turned up to this this training centre at Bubbles Car Wash on Finchley Road in London. And Lance Leonhardt himself trained me and Paul. The original 3 guys, Robbie, Reza and Andy, were all in their own areas. Croydon, Guildford and Derby, I think they were working.
Right.
And Lance trained us in this little lockup in London.
Nice.
After 3-ish, maybe 4 weeks training, we started going out with the other 3 technicians in the various places. And then I think it was maybe the 5th week or so, they came up and installed us in our area, as they say, just introducing us to dealers, doing demos, and let us loose in our own areas.
Not like getting chucked in the deep end, is it?
Do you know what? The hardest thing we had to do back then was to convince the salesman that we could do what we say we were going to do. You know, you walk through the door of a showroom and say, see that dent on that car there? I'm going to take that out in a matter of minutes without painting, without any filler in it, nothing, and you won't say anything was there. And they will go, go on, bloody waste somebody else's time. And it was just really difficult to actually get them to allow you to show them what you could do. Of course, once they'd seen it, then they were blown away and you was in for life. But, you know, then as salesmen move around, I ended up covering a bigger and bigger and bigger area. And from living in Manchester, I was doing from Stockport all the way across to Rochdale, and then across to Leeds, and then across to Sheffield and Chesterfield, and then York. Patch. And I'm like, seriously? Don't even know if it's there now.
Jet, didn't he?
I remember a dealer called Lancaster Europa, Mercedes dealer in Sheffield.
Are you the £10 a panel guy?
Oh man, back there it was 65 quid a panel back then for the trade.
No, mate. Times have changed, mate. It doesn't work like that anymore. The hardest thing to convince the dealers now is how cheap you can do it, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh man. And I think it was actually a salesman from Lancaster Europa in Sheffield that sent me to a dealer in York, and that's why I ended up working in York. But what I found was that it was a lot easier to sell what we do over in Yorkshire than it was to sell it to the guys in Manchester. And I thought, do you know what? Why don't I just move over there? So I ended up moving to a place called Sherburn and Helmet, just north of Ferrybridge. And I lived there for 20 years.
So why do you think it was easier to get the sales in Yorkshire than anywhere else?
Good one. It was either the fact that they could see that there was value in it and that, you know, we were saving them money, or it was the fact that the guys in Manchester are just so bloody tight they didn't want to pay a damn thing anyway.
This is a disclaimer. Those dent guys do not endorse Colin Wood's attitude.
Maybe it was an east-west thing, because I do remember a situation where there was a dealer in Liverpool. So we're going to the other end of the scale. And the dealer actually said to us that he would rather sell that car 50 quid cheaper than pay us 50 quid to take that dent out.
He's jealous.
And I thought, on that bombshell, I'm going home.
Jealousy gets you nowhere.
Yeah. So, but yeah, I certainly became a lot more successful over in Yorkshire than I ever was in Manchester. And, you know, I think, to be fair, at the same time, spreading myself too thinly was just not helpful to me. I was being very reactive to the phone, and I was spending hours and hours driving. And yeah, I made decent money, but my God, did I sort of spend a lot of hours away from home.
Was you just doing certain days in certain areas then, or was you just everywhere?
I tried to do that. But as you all know and experience, dealers always have emergencies, and they're all genuine. And you know, I always try to help people out that yeah, Steve.
Steve Wood says, I remember seeing your Volvo driving around York when I started mobile. Everyone knew your name.
Do you know what, Steve? That Volvo did 357,000 miles.
Volvo boy, back off him.
When I sold it, was it 13 years old or something?
I didn't sell it.
I can't remember how old it was. I sold it in 2008. That's what it was. It was a 96 car. I sold it in 2008. And and it still had the original exhaust on it and the original clutch at 357,000 miles. That's a proper car.
Jesus, there you go.
Yeah. So
Good effort.
yeah, I set up the limited company in 2013. But prior to that, we had the financial crisis in 2008, if you remember. And back then, just prior to that, I'd just for sort of, I don't know, interest's sake, I'd plotted my turnover on a monthly basis. So January, February, March, how much turnover I did. And year on year, over the previous 3 years, the peaks and troughs were pretty much the same. You know, some years I'd have earned more than others, but basically the lines were parallel on the months. So where there was holidays, it'd drop, or where there wasn't holidays, it'd go up, you know.
Yeah.
And my turnover was pretty predictable. So I knew when was the best time to go on holiday. I knew when not to go on holiday, stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
And then 2008 came and it just fell off a cliff. Literally, you know, once I'd caught up with the cars on the pitch that were already in stock, everybody stopped selling cars and there was no work.
Yeah.
I'd still got bills to pay. I had to find something else to earn from. And pretty much every year since I left Dentmaster, one of the guys would ring me up and say, "Cole, we've got loads of work over here. Come over and give me a lift." And I was always too busy to need to, you know. But 2008 happened, and it was actually Jimmy Minto that rang me, our ex Dundee tech that now lives in Frankfurt. Hello, Jimmy, if you're watching. And he asked me to go out to Dusseldorf, I think it was. And I thought, well, I've got to give it a whirl. I said, right, I'll give you a week. I went over there for a week, learned an awful lot. It was a hell of a learning curve. But holy moly, I couldn't believe how much money I earned in a week. And I came back home and I thought,
you bought another Volvo.
You know what? I sold my red one. That's exactly what I did, because I thought, I've drove that like I stole it since the day I bought it. And if I disappear and leave that here for 3 months, it's going to be dead when I get back. So, yeah, that's the point at which I sold my Volvo. Got rid of all my trade customers, said, sorry, see ya, bye, I'm off. Which really, really upset a lot of them, a lot.
Not surprised at £10 a panel. Bloody hell. What have we got that?
And I disappeared back to Germany and spent the rest of the year in Germany.
I like Germany.
I do myself. It's a cracking place to work. Really nice people.
Yeah.
Very, very accommodating.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. I stayed in Mönchengladbach once, and I had a really nice kebab. Oh.
Is that your main takeaway from Germany?
That was the best kebab I ever had. Oh.
How can you go to Germany and not come away saying schnitzel is the way forward?
Nah.
No?
No, it was kebab for me. It's this massive kebab with
Really?
this hard bread. It had all this white garlic sauce on it. I was like, "Arr, arr, arr," and it's all over me. And yeah.
Are you sure it was garlic sauce?
This is a family show, mate. That's your first strike.
Could have been salad cream. Get your head out of the gutter.
I don't like salad cream. Oh, dear. Nearly choked.
Anyway, we were in Germany.
Yes, it was in Germany.
So, Germany. 2008 turned out to be a good year. 2009 was average. 2010 was diabolical. And
It wasn't, mate. That's the year I got into it.
you know what? I mean, granted, 2010, I'd only been doing it full time for 2 years. And for me, 2010 was diabolical. By the end of July, I was running around Holland doing parking dents.
Why? If you was doing hail?
Because the firm I was working for didn't have any more contracts.
Oh, right. Okay.
And then I heard on the grapevine that there'd been some hail over in Finland. So I'm like, I know somebody with contacts in Finland, and I'm going through my phone trying to sort of find out, who it was. Ah, there he is. Give him a ring. What's all this about hail in Finland? And he said, "Why, are you looking for work?" I said, "Yeah." He said, "Right, I'm actually at the airport now, on my way there. I'll give you a shout when I get there." And fair play to him, he did. And I think I got about 3 months' work out of it. And that basically saved my butt, as they say.
It's not all glamour, is it, this hail game?
It's not. It's harsh sometimes.
Oh, all right.
Yeah. But that gig really taught me a lot. I mean, throughout the years, I've always met techs and been of the opinion that if somebody's been doing it a lot of years, they must be good. And when I got to Finland, the guy I was working for said to me, "Right, I'm going to put you at this workshop here, and I'm going to put you with a trainee that's been doing it for 3 months." And I thought, oh my God, that's not what I need. I've just had the worst start to a season ever, and I can't carry a trainee. So I wasn't in a good frame of mind. And the guy that they put me with, I'm not going to tell you his name because I don't want to embarrass him, but I swear to God, if this guy had been doing it 3 months, I'm going to hang my tools up now, really. The guy was fantastic.
I appreciate the kind words, mate. Thanks.
Well, someone was going to say it, weren't they?
I thought getting there first, it was obvious.
Yeah.
This guy, without a doubt, brought my rail blending skills out of the dark ages and into the present day. And he taught me so much. And it just taught me to be humble and not assume that if somebody's only been doing it a few months that they're not going to be any good, because this guy was brilliant. We worked very well together that year, and I've worked with him several times since, and we work well together. The good thing is the bits that I don't like doing, he does, and the bits he doesn't like doing, I do. So it's a win-win.
I think your better half's just chucked up who it is in the comments, and I think there's so many texts out there with a story about this guy. What year was this, mate?
2010.
2010.
Okay, that's the year I met him in my first year as well. And,
all right.
Just such a dude. I think was that his first year as well?
I think it was.
Yeah.
So I may be incorrect, but I think it was his first year.
So same as me then, and he just lit up the workshop. I mean, it was a brutal deal we were on in Austria, and
that sounds like it. Yeah.
This guy just cracked me up on a daily basis. Such a dude. Such a dude. It's several times since I've come across people that have just taught me that you can't judge an orange by its skin, as they say. You let their repairs talk for themselves. Yeah.
If somebody's coming in telling me they're a good technician, I'll believe it when I see your work.
Yeah.
Come in here and tell me you've been doing it 25 years. I don't care. I've been doing it 94 till now? I don't know. My maths is crap. 27 years, is it? And Jason, do you know what? I've got a story about Jason, and I will tell this story later. But for now, let me just say, I've been at it 27 years, and I'm not the best technician out there. Shock horror. But do you know what? Just because I've been doing it that long, don't mention the war.
For anyone listening
what?
to this, on the streaming services, is just going to think everybody's got Tourette's right now. If you
It's
are
not
listening to
Tourette.
this on iTunes or
Oh,
whatever,
dear.
you've got to go and watch it on YouTube because we've got all the comments popping up on screen, and that's what we're reacting to.
Yes, just a bit. I'd love Tourette's. They're great.
So, you know when you don't meet somebody, but you see what they comment online, and
Like
you
Jason.
Who are you talking about?
and listen, right? This is a really funny story. This, and I know that more than me has had exactly the same experience. Right now, you know when you kind of make a preconceived idea about somebody's personality and what they're like as a person because of what they post on social media. And there was one such person that I'd made this preconceived idea based on my sort of observations on what he posts on social media. And then one particular year, I happened to be going to work at a gig, and the operator of this gig happened to tell me that this particular person was working there. And I thought, what on earth is he employed him for? Thought, oh, well, it's work. Went on down there, and I completely forgot that this guy was working there. Just turned up, got my tools out, got introduced to everybody by their first name. Hi, right, crack on, let's get some work done. And I've been working with this guy for 3 days, not realizing who it was. And do you know what? That is the best thing that could have happened, because if I'd have gone in there, the 3 days of me not knowing who it was, if I'd have gone in there knowing who I was working with, I would have had a preconceived idea and may have taken a different view. But because I went in there fresh, and this guy just came across as a technician and his skills spoke for themselves, I like the guy. I like him a lot. And
Did he offer you any Waver's original sweets or anything like that?
Don't think he did. No, it was actually incredibly normal, which is just weird, because when he's online, normal is not an adjective you would use to describe him.
We'd gladly get him on the show, but we just can't. We can't. No.
Well,
no.
You know that he shares a second name with another technician that is very dear to my heart. And this other technician was also working in the vicinity, probably very close to you, Ben, actually. I think he was working.
Just across the road, yeah.
Yeah. And this guy came in to see me one day, and we were talking, and this other technician that was working with me came across to give me a load of grief. And I introduced the two of them, and because they have the same name, I was like, oh, this is such a body, and this is such a body, but it's not that. And I was going to say, it's not that idiot. And just at that point, the penny dropped, and it was like, oh my God,
Oh, dear.
So, yeah. And I've told him that to his face. So I'm not saying anything out of turn here. And he rang me this morning and complained like stink that I was on here and he wasn't.
It's coming. We're going to do a Christmas special or something. But
you know what? There's one thing that
Jason says thanks.
Yeah, there's one thing that I would say in relation to the phone call that he made to me this morning. If you was to have a, what's the word? Is it a metaphor or a simile? I don't know. If you was to describe him in relation to the Paintless Dent Removal, he is the Freddie Starr of the Paintless Dent Repair industry, because you have no idea what's going to happen next. Without a doubt, he is the Freddie Starr of the PDR industry.
That sounds pretty much bang on.
The nicest dude going with the biggest heart, that's for sure.
Mm-hmm.
But you know what? An incredible technician. What a cracking set of skills he's got.
Oh yeah.
It just needs to keep off the keyboard.
Well, I'm going to flesh out the story for everyone a little bit here because, unbelievably, after only knowing him a few days on that deal that we were all on, albeit for different companies, and I say companies,
You're going to give me that picture, aren't you?
You and Mr. Jason Hutchinson.
What picture?
Some people might know about this, but the rest of the world won't. So I think it's time we drop the bomb. In 2018, Colin Wood and Jason Hutchinson actually won the men's pairs synchronized beer ordering competition. I say competition, more like Olympic. Check this out. Look at that.
Wow. Hey, I thought he was wearing high heels for a second then.
Look at the synchronicity. There is two lads who have probably just, and I'll tell you what, it was hot working in them tents.
It was.
Two lads that have just come off the back of a 13, 14-hour day, rocked up to the bar and pulled out a 10 across the board for synchronized beer posing. Look at them.
Oh, God.
Anthony Pritchard just said, haha, I know this picture. I was there, sync beer ordering.
Cheers, Anne.
Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Evening, buddy. How you doing, mate? Brings a tear to my eye every time. Every time it pops up on the Facebook memories.
And Bobby was there watching you.
Yeah,
that's right. There were so many people
there.
There
was a lot of guys there, wasn't there? Yeah.
There was a lot of guys there. Good times.
Tell you what, they did a cracking king prawn linguine at that hotel.
If that was your takeaway from that deal, mate, I'm worried about you.
Oh, God. I don't know.
Quite how we all stayed in hotels and that I will never know. That was a tough deal, that was.
I didn't. I had the motorhome on car park.
Didn't you? That's right, yeah.
In fact, testament to Jason, every morning he came out of the restaurant with a plate and a sausage and bacon sandwich out of the restaurant and brought me breakfast in the tent.
There you go.
You didn't see what he did to it, though.
Good God. Why'd you have to say that thing?
Really?
I know. Family show. That's your first strike. Oh, look at this.
Yeah.
It's just turning into a fest.
Jason Hutchinson. Love you, Colin. I remember.
Bless him.
So what happened after that then?
Actually, just before that was the advent of the hotbox. And having bought one, basically because I like technical stuff, and when something like that comes on, I'm like, how's that work then? And there was so little information about it, and nobody knew anything about them. And I'm like, do you know what? I'm just going to buy one and see how they go. And did you miss with your elbow then?
No.
Smooth as, mate. Smooth as.
So yeah, I bought myself a hotbox, and within 10 minutes of using it, I thought, this needs modifying this. So I straight away came up with some plans to make the heat saver.
This is the segment of the show where things are going to get really technical. Some break.
Down there, look, they're above his head.
I could never get this.
It's opposite. Opposite
mate,
way.
There.
We've been doing this for 2 seasons now, and we still can't get it the right way around
I'll
either.
just bloody get one. There we go.
That thing.
Heat saver.
Heat saver.
Yeah, basically, when you're using the hotbox, if you're at the end of your arm, you know yourself, if you've got a blending hammer that's longer, you can see more slight undulations. So the same happens with a hotbox. The further away you are, the more you can see detail. In a nutshell. I can see Ben's face glazing over, so I'm trying not to be technical here.
Not glazing over at all. I'm agreeing with every word.
So yeah, I came up with this one, and then having used that and modified it several times, decided to make them on scale and start to sell them. And it wasn't long before I decided we need more power. And
Great Scott, Marty.
so I then made the longer version, the 600, and I think it was, what were we on, 21 last year, so 2019, 2018, I actually used the 600 more than the 400 for the first time. I just, sometimes you get a feeling for something, and it just so happened that the type of damage I was repairing that year, the 600 was just, it was my go-to tool. Mm-hmm. Every car I repaired, that was being used on, and an awful lot of the dents on the rails I was doing with that, and a good number on the roof as well, all over the car. But the ability to get that really shallow angle, stand way back and be able to see properly and repair it with a hot box and a long blending hammer was just, it made my season really nice.
So what's the difference between the 4 and the 600? It's just the length, is it? No?
200 millimeters, that's it. It is literally just another 200 millimeters, so you can get that little bit, another 8 inches away.
Mm-hmm. Size matters.
Size matters, Martin.
It does.
But you know what? Size isn't everything, because sometimes the shorter one is the way forward.
Yeah.
I think it's super important. I mean, since I've had it, it's never come off the machine. I don't understand why you'd use it without, to be honest.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's cheers, Patrick. I just love using it. It's it just makes it a pleasure to use. It really does.
Yeah. Yeah, it's easier as well, because when you've got that cable going straight into the head, you kind of fight in the weight of the cable as well. And it's just, A, it's awkward. B, you're right up to the dent. Yeah. And C, why wouldn't you?
Yeah.
Simple.
Another tool that I came up with. Anybody that's got a cart that you travel around with, you'll note that if you don't tie all the tools together, it's like driving around in a bag of spanners. You get jingle, jingle, jingle every bump you go around, every roundabout you go around. It's And I made this thing called a tool tamer, which basically clamped around each of the hanging brackets. And I made a batch of them. I made a batch of them. I enlisted the help of my mother, my father, and Lorna. And we must have spent, I don't know, pretty much a week making these, just a whole batch of it.
Yeah.
So, I bought a load of aluminium, because they made out of aluminium plates. And it was just a real sweatshop for the thick end of a week.
How much do you pay him?
Took him out for tea.
Don't answer that.
I don't think I actually paid them, to be fair. And
brutal.
I know.
You're out there billing $10 a panel, earning all that coin, and you just...
But, you know what?
You make me sick.
They got free board for a week.
Hey, well...
They got free board at Woodpecker Towers.
HQ.
But yeah, we sold all them, and I thought, you know what, for the price I want to charge for them, I'm just not making any money.
Right.
The cost of materials and the how labor intensive it was to actually manufacture. So I've not made any more. I'd like to make some more. But first of all, I need to find a better way of making them so it's not as labour intensive, or the components aren't as expensive, or something. Yeah. But I do not want to reduce the durability of it, because that's just not me. I don't like cheap, nasty stuff. I like to build quality products, and if that happens to be expensive, so be it. But there is a point, you know.
Yeah, but it's no different to dent removal anyway. It's no different to what we're all trying to accomplish.
I guess so, yeah. That's it,
yeah.
There's like everything, there is a market for cheap materials and cheap services, but that's not the market I want to be in.
Top man.
And you know, the dent repairs. There is a market for cheap substandard dent repairs. Like it or not, there is a market there, but I don't want to serve it.
Yeah,
and there will be technicians out there that are quite happy to serve that, and you know, fair play to them. They've got to earn a coin, and if that's what they want to do, then who am I to stop them? But with the tool side of it, I just want Woodpecker to be seen to be a brand that you can trust. If you buy something off me, I want it to be something that I'm proud of, and you know that you'll be proud of if you bought it.
Fair play to you. Fair play.
And to that end, some things just don't happen as fast as I would like them. You know, I just need to make sure that everything is right, and that it's a quality item that I'm going to be proud of, and you're going to be so pleased to own. And I see a few of the comments there that those that have bought heat sabers, and I touch wood, I don't think I've had one person have any kind of issue with a heat saber.
Nice.
It's
a good track record.
I've sold.
The only time you're going to get it is when that head gets turned too far. But you know,
I mean, I generally talk to people when they buy them.
It's common sense more than anything.
Yeah, you know yourself. If you bought a glass, if you throw it at the floor, it's going to smash.
I've had a few people do it with mine when we've been out on hail season. They'll start turning the head around. I'm like, whoa, what are you doing?
Yeah. I think Anthony, did he? I can't remember if he sent one back because it had fell off a roof and somebody had run over it or something.
No, I think we just overused him in France, that's all.
Oh, that was it. Barry Darrell. His got run over in a workshop. A car run over it, and it smashed the end off it. And I just arranged to meet him up at one of the places up in York, and I just put a new end on it for him. It fixed it. It was fine.
Customer service.
Well, you know, I've known Barry for years, and we're not far apart, so
yeah,
I don't mind. You know, doing what needs doing.
That's it. Well, brace yourself, folks, because here comes a seamless segue. Ready? Here it comes. Colin, is there anything you wish you'd got to market sooner recently?
And what's in those empty boxes behind your head?
What's that all about?
There we go. Drum roll, please.
Well, this weekend, I happened to have dropped something off in Sheffield at your place, and then if my memory is correct, you actually came and spent the evening in our bar behind this wall here.
I certainly did try to drink you dry, but I failed.
You failed.
The bar,
and as you, that's your first strike.
I think I'm on 2 if we're honest. To be honest, I'm going to drop another one. I'm off. See you later.
So yeah, you've both had a sneak peek at what would normally go in those boxes, and I think. Do you know what? I'm not going to say what it is. And I know there's going to be people there that's going, oh, for God's sake, come on, tell us what it is. Because I've been talking about this for a long time.
They're going to love it, aren't they? Going to love it.
You know what? Show them that picture that I sent you earlier on.
You mean this picture here?
Dent picture.
That one there?
Right,
that one there.
Now, guys that's watching, that there is a Tiguan bottom body line. Now, when I saw that, I thought, oh no, it's like 8 o'clock in the morning. I had a skinful last night. I'm tired.
Professional.
I really don't want to do this.
It's not every day for me.
And then this next product that we've been working on for thick end of 2 years was in its prototype stage. And I thought, okay, here we go. And I got this thing out, and I swear to God, 10 minutes later, that dent that's in front of you there was done. This prototype went from me thinking it might work, it might not, I don't know if it's going to be any good, I don't know if people will buy it, to, oh my God, we need to get this to market. That dent there is what changed my mind on this next product.
That's it. It's on its way to you now. Express delivery.
That's the first airdrop to TDN, right?
Yeah.
So, there is something in the pipeline, and we just need to make sure all our ducks in a row. We're close to launch, and we're going to launch worldwide. And I know, Bobby, I wish I could, but I can't. I really can't. Right? We're going to make sure that this is right, and when it goes, I promise you're going to love it.
We were hoping there was going to be a big reveal tonight, but I think Colin's agreed to come back on when things are ready to roll. But I've been using said apparatus all week. I've used it on every dent I've touched. I've used it at the estimation stage. I've used it while fixing. I've used it at the QC stage, and that's where I'm going to leave it. But it's awesome. It really genuinely is. So well done, folks.
Good to hear.
Well done. I've been using it for a couple of weeks on and off, haven't I? And,
of course. Yeah, you had actually had a go at my prototype, didn't you, a couple of weeks ago?
Certainly did, yeah.
Is that strike free?
No, Ben, that wasn't a euphemism.
Behave yourself.
And you're going to love it. 110%.
It's a game changer.
It's a game changer.
Game changer.
And as we always say, it is one of the simplest things, really. I mean, and that is in no way to take away from the research and development that's gone into this thing, because I can only imagine how much of an involved task that was. But it is such a simple tool, but probably one of the most effective you're going to get your hands on.
And I ain't seen another one around.
Do you know what? The guy that came up with the idea told me about
too much away.
The guy that told me about it 3 years ago. He's a technician I've known for a lot of years, and I remember now. I was driving along the motorway, then he rang me up. He said, "Col, I've got a couple of ideas for tills, and I know I can trust you. I can tell you the what I've got in my mind, and you're not going to run away and steal it." So I said, "Go on, what have you got?" And the first one he told me about was this product, and I'm like, "Yeah, okay. What else you got?" And then he told me about the reflector mat. And I was like, oh my God, why haven't anybody done that before? And instantly I was drawn to the reflector mat. I said, right, well, let's do that first, and we'll look at the other one later. So we worked on the reflector mat, and, we got that to a point where I was happy with it. Got it all manufactured in the States, and they've all sold out. But we're now on with a Mark II of that. What I want to do before I get another production run going is to find a way. And we're well on with it. We're just not quite there.
What's wrong with it, Colin? What's wrong with it?
Do you know what? I've actually been sat on this. I've been sat on this to get myself a little bit more height so that I'm not sat down here. But yeah, the old reflector mat, This is the last one in existence, I think. All the rest have sold out. I've been using this for, a year? Shows how much work I do, doesn't it? You can still read it. I can't work this out. Oh, there you go.
That's called lines, yeah.
Yeah, and because it's lines, and because I like fog, that has been down to the road every time I use it. So that has started to wear. And I'm sure there'll be guys there that use, do a lot more work than I do, to be fair. and what we've come to realize is that even though this is in contact with the floor, it's just bomb proof. I haven't ever washed that, but if you wash that, it still comes up clean and it's just great print.
Lines don't lie.
So they say. So we are currently in negotiations with the manufacturer to get a Mark II put together, where we will have both fog and lines printed with the same media as the original white lines were, because that's clearly bomb proof. If you can throw those white lines on the concrete and on the tarmac and in the mud for 12 months and it still look like that, that's good enough for me. I'm happy at that. But the material that the mat's made of is bomb proof. It doesn't soak the water up. You buy a cheap mat and you throw it in the mud, it soaks the water up, you throw it in the van, you get back in the van on Monday morning, your van stinks.
Yeah.
It doesn't do it with that.
Or you stand on it and it tries to kill you.
Yeah. Yeah. So, the reflector mat went well. We're happy with that. And once that was running, then I started looking at this other product. And, we rigged up a few prototypes, and I was umming and ahhing with it. I was like, well, I don't know. I wasn't enthralled by it. When you look at it and when you think of the mechanics behind it, and it was that dent that you just shown that absolutely changed my mind. And I'm not going to tell you why, but that particular dent, literally, it was like. So, can you remember back in the day when you first learned paintless dent repair? And for most people, there's a point where it's almost like you transition from not having a clue what you're doing, and then one day it's like somebody's gone and and turned the light on.
I ain't got to that point yet.
Yeah. It only happened last week, mate. Jesus.
And it was literally like that stark a contrast. And I thought, wow.
You just jumped up another level.
Yeah.
Thanks a bunch, Cole, because you've just sent me back to square one, so happy days.
Yeah, well.
Anyway, I'm not saying anymore. No one's saying anymore.
Ah, well.
How long are we, do you think, before you're going to start dropping some bombs?
Do you know what? An awful lot of this has been caused by both Brexit and COVID.
Who knew that was going to happen?
Yeah.
Don't mention the C word, for God's sake. Oh, no.
So, for starters, we have issues with Brexit, as in stuff being shipped from one country to another is having issues. And then with the COVID issue, we have issues with both goods getting unloaded and offloaded from the ports. And we also have issues with people moving from country to country, because we have various meetings to do to ensure that we get the worldwide distribution in place. Mm-hmm. Because, like I say, this really is going to be something that everybody can benefit from. It's, I really wish I could tell you, but I can't. I just can't. I'll get shot.
Go on, tell us.
No, I'll just have another beer and I'll shut up.
Good lad. Good lad. Well, I'll tell you what. I'll put my name on it. It's a belter. It is a belter. And like I say, it took me a little while to... I mean, I saw the benefit straight away when you came down and showed me. Took me a little while to get to grips to it.
I saw that on your face.
Yeah. Yeah. No, mate. You just caught me on my 20th cup of tea. I was just having a bit of a... yeah, it took me probably a few dents to really sort of lock into it, if that makes sense. But yeah, just much like that dent you've shown there that twigged it for you, I had a very similar sort of thing the other day, and it was just I put up in the messages to yourself, didn't I?
Yeah.
I'm like, Cole, you're not gonna believe what?
Yeah.
It works.
Yeah. Yeah.
So, yeah. I'll put my name on it, mate. 100% well played. For everyone involved in ideas and bringing it to market, I guess.
Yeah.
And it's not just for a single tech. Maybe multiple techs could use it.
How?
Yeah.
This is getting confusing. I think we should move on.
Nah, I think we should.
I think we'll move on.
Dents of the week.
What? Jesus Christ, not again.
No. Yeah.
Yeah.
You're all winners.
Did he say surely not then?
Yeah, I did.
Surely not.
I'll tell you what, though, it's a hell of a backstory. And from where you've come from, for like your ethos to the industry, to what you're doing now. I mean, obviously, such a well-respected tech, and giving back to the industry with all the tool stuff you're making as well. Absolutely epic. Insanely valuable to the industry as a whole, I think. So I think it's fair to say. So
creating rainbows as well, by the way.
Oh, what's those?
Was that like a giant licorice all sort?
It's a new glue tab.
This is, you know, I had the tool tamer, which is currently out of production until further notice. Well, this is a tip tamer. Basically, you know, magnetic tip holder. I was actually looking for something to do with said machine behind me. And part of the learning curve was 3D modeling, computer-aided design, stuff like this. And this is just one of the things that I was playing about with whilst I was learning. And figured, you know what, we can do stuff like this.
Yeah. So I've actually tried one of those, and because of a bit of a funny shape, aren't they? And they got their finger cutouts.
I've got currently 3 types on my website. There is the type 1, which has 9 holes, and it's good for, you know, your sort of big mushroom type tips. You can fill it with 9 of them, and you know there's plenty of room around. That's the type 3. Then we have a type 1, which is slightly...
You're confusing me now.
It's slightly bigger.
Oh.
But that happens to be the exact same size as the square hole on a TDN cart.
That's the new foam, the new foamed one, isn't it? Not the original one, I don't think. Or is it?
The original and the new have exactly the same size square. I don't know if Kev's there, if he can confirm this, but I think the old TDN cart and the new TDN cart both have the same size square holes.
Yeah, I think they're just in different locations, aren't they?
Yeah. So that'll snugly fit in there and fit 9 mushroom tips on it. No problem. And the only other one I do at the moment...
Kevin says yes.
Yep. Well done, Kev. Thank you. And then we've got a type 2, which is the same size, fits the same square hole, and that'll fit 16 smaller tips in it.
So there's magnets in there, aren't they?
There's all magnets in them, yeah. I'm currently working on another one. I'm I think I've got 3 more going through the process of modelling and just perfecting the printing settings at the moment. 2 of them are actually aimed at non-magnetic tips. So, some of the stainless steel tips aren't magnetic, so they're pretty useless in something like that. And I'm currently working on something else that'll hold the stainless tips in the same manner. But yeah, exciting stuff. To be fair, I really enjoy doing it. It's a bit of a challenge, especially when I get that thing that doesn't do what it's supposed to do. And then I get the bit between my teeth and it's like, okay, I'm going to sort this.
Yeah.
And at which point Lorna starts to say, oh, well, I'm off to bed then. You're on your own.
Yeah. Half 11 at night, yeah. I'm just, I'll be 10 minutes. I'll be 10 minutes.
I'll just do this.
Yeah.
If I could just do this and I'll set it up and it'll just carry on going for the next 4 hours on its own.
4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
2 more minutes.
Oh, bless her. She does put up with a lot.
As long as you don't get those tool tamers back, she'll be all right.
Fair play to you, fella. Fair play. But go on.
I was just going to say, literally this evening, I've also just added to my.
Lorna says it's true.
I've also just added to the website the B-Tag T Hotbox and the B-Tag T Hotbox Aluminium.
Oh, nice. Happy days.
And yeah, again, because of Brexit, I've found it insanely difficult to import and export from Europe.
Do me a favour, Cole, just quickly, mate. What is your website? I'm going to set a banner across the bottom so everyone can go check you out.
WoodPeckerUK.co.uk.
That's it.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yep, I've just been on there. It's all on there with all the prices and all that lot.
Big thanks to my son Chris, by the way. Chris pretty much built that website for me.
Oh, happy day.
Thank you very much.
Good website.
Me being the sort of technophobe type sort of person, when it comes to stuff like that, I'm like, no idea. But yeah, Chris is the other side of the river in Hull, and is my go-to tech support. So if something goes wrong, he's the guy that says, "Have you tried turning it off and on?"
It amazes me that you have tech support, which quite frankly scares me for the knowledge your lad must have.
I know, yeah. That's what I was just thinking.
Yeah. Oh, well, we all have a chink in our armour.
There you go. Good man, good man.
Oh, something else I picked up I've just noticed here. Some of you have probably already got some of these, but...
Oh, yeah, going into dentistry as well.
Yeah.
Oof.
Whack, 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 whack. Now, I know a lot of the guys have already got these, but I saw some whilst I was looking for some other components, and I thought, yeah, I'll get some and stick them on the site. They're brilliant. You know,
there you go.
Around the edge of a wheel, they meant love them.
Good source for gooseneck pliers. WoodPeckerUK.co.uk.
Aye. But now going back to the guy that gave me the idea for said product and the reflector mat, he's had some good ideas, and he's always coming up with, what about making one of these? And you know, he has come up with some fantastic ideas. Only a few of them we've actually explored so far, because they are very, very labour intensive getting it to the point where we can market it.
Yeah.
And you know, Mark, like I say, I've known Mark for many, many years, and he's just, it's great to work with somebody that puts so much trust in you that he just, we just have this arrangement where he says, "This is what I want you to do. Go do it." And then we have this arrangement where he puts money in, I put work in, and we come up with a product, and then we split the profits.
Perfect.
That's a good plan. Yeah.
And with the hail stroke Brexit situation being what it was, and me being in this with 2 legs and an arm, I thought I might as well get the other arm in and just make sure that we crack this one this year, and put hail on the back burner for this year, and let's hope that next year we can get paperwork sorted.
I don't think you got time for any hailstone, have you, this year?
Not at the moment, no. Not at the moment.
That ain't a bad thing. I ain't a bad thing.
Yeah.
I always sort of said myself, if you can choose to do it as opposed to have to do it, what a nice situation to be in,
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, to be fair, when we moved into this house, we're in North Lincolnshire. I've been over between York and Leeds for 20 years. And I was happy there. It was a nice house. I was quite happy there. But when we moved to this place in 2017, I'd already started a hail gig over in Germany. I think I started work the first week in June. And we moved house on the 16th of June. So I'd done a couple of weeks' work in Germany. I had to come home for a long weekend to move house, and then skip back on the boat on the Monday morning. Monday night, I should say. And at the point when I actually left to get the ferry, I hadn't spent a single night in the house, because I'd got all my family over to help me to get it all done quickly. And me and Lorna slept in the motorhome. So when I left to go back to the ferry, I hadn't spent a single night in the house, but I drove away feeling homesick for the first time that I can remember ever.
Yeah.
And it's just, I just love this place. It's just got this, for me and Lorne, it just really, really feels like home. And it's, I feel sorry for anybody that's never had that feeling, because I thought I'd had it, but oh my God, it's just such a comfortable place, and I always want to be here. So
it's a nice
really
place.
Difficult.
Definitely.
It's just really hard going on hail now.
Yeah.
It is tough. Those times away from home, they are tough, and it digs deep, man. And I must have.
With you having little ones as well, that's got to be tough.
Yeah, I sort of said I thought it was going to get easier. I thought the more we did it, the easier it get. But it turns out when you're trying to leave the house and your little lad's like clinging onto you and onto the door frame, and it's man, that's not good news. Yeah, it's not nice at all. Is what it is, though, right? Sometimes you just got to do what you got to do. But Dave the dog. Dave.
Message from Kevin Andrews, especially when Dave the dog gives you that look.
I know.
That's right.
Oh, the ball.
Yeah. Grabber. Grabber's flavour of the month at the moment. Yeah, we've got a Dave too.
Evening. Evening, Robbie. How are we doing?
Now, there is a guy you need to get on here. That guy there can tell a story like no other. He is one funny guy and a cracking technician. Really nice guy with it. Rob,
anytime.
You need to get on here.
Anytime. More than welcome. I remember spending a bit of time with Robbie over at MTE. I guess it was 2018, I think. Just such a nice guy. Lovely guy. I know we were tied to the tool stand at the time, and he'd always be popping over. I gotta go get your drink, this, that, and the other. Just super nice guy. But more than welcome on the show, mate. Anytime.
Yeah. Got a question from Stevie Buckle. There you go. How
are sales and tools affected by Brexit?
Exactly.
Well, twofold. First of all, any of the components that we have to import, we're having issues with getting goods into the country. As in, I had a shipment due 2 months ago, and it was getting a bit long in the tooth, so I contacted the manufacturer, and they're like, no, according to the tracking, it's been in the UK for the last 2 months. And I'm like, what? Yeah, it's in the UK. And I'm like, well, according to the tracking number I've got, they've not even received it yet. And she said, well, okay, I'll make some inquiries. And a couple of days later, she came back to me and said, right, it actually landed in the UK, whatever date it was, and it sat on the dockside, and they haven't got the staff to hand it over to DPD.
No way.
So that's one way at which either Brexit or COVID is impacting on my sales stuff. But the export of it, as a guide, I sold a heat saber to a guy in Austria 3 weeks ago, is it now? Something like that. And last I looked at the tracking, it's still not got it. But was it 10 days after I'd sent it, I got a email from the shipping company asking for various bits of information, all of which I'd actually written on my invoice. I'd sent a copy of the invoice inside the package. I'd put a copy of the invoice in a polythene bag, sellotape to the outside of the package, like you quite often see with parcels. And I'd also filled out all the information that they were asking for online when I booked the shipment. And this shipping company sent me this email saying we need all this information, but we need it on this blank form. And it was basically asking for exactly the same information, but in different boxes.
So they're good when you've already sent it, though, isn't it?
Well, they basically said if you don't send this back by, and I think it was Monday morning, and I actually found it in my junk folder on the Sunday night.
Oh,
that old chestnut.
That old chestnut.
Yeah. And they said if we don't get this information back by Monday morning, customs will destroy the package.
What?
Don't you know what's in that package? Huh?
Yeah.
Unbelievable. Can you imagine? Can you imagine? Jeez.
I mean, one of the things they ask for is a commodity code or a HS code. And if you've ever tried to find a HS code for anything, it is just a minefield.
Put a few zeros on the end. There you go.
Seriously. There are, depending on which country you're sending to, there are either 8 or 10 digits in a commodity code. And anything you can lay your eyes on or anything you can think of is supposed to have a HS code or a commodity code. And when you actually do a search for it, you've got to kind of start narrowing down, so is it made of wood? Is it made of cloth? Is it made of metal? Is that metal aluminium? Is that metal steel? Is it brass? And then is it a nail? Is it a bolt? Is it a nut? Or is it an electrical device, or is it not electrical? Is it a hand tool? Is it, and there's like so many different sort of, it's like looking down a family tree. And with such a thing as a heat saber, there isn't a heat saber in the commodity code. So you've got to find something that's something like a heat saber. And
what would that even be?
I think the one I came up with was
hair curlers.
Do you know you're not that far out with that. I think it was a induction device intended for the heat treatment of a material. And then there was some other addendum to it. I can't remember what it was, but it was just a bizarre sort of description of something, but it was by far the closest thing I could find that relates to it.
Yes, I think it's like I said to you the other day, mate. I mean, with all the red tape, the this, the that, the other, you've just got to do whatever you can do to the best of your ability, else you just tie yourself up in knots, surely.
Yeah.
Just get it done, crack on. And if you get pulled for it, I've done the best I can. I push dents, mate. I push dents. That's all I do.
You know what you need to start doing, don't you? You need to start putting Haribos in. And then when the customs open them and see the Haribos, they eat them.
Is that what it is?
It's
not intended to reach the tech. It's a sweetener
not for the tech. It's for the customs. I've just figured it out. There you go.
For thinking, down there for dancing.
See,
you guys.
That might be where I actually.
Evening, Dom.
That might be where I caused the problem then, because for my UK sales, I now have
a Yorkshire tea bag.
But I've also got a Cadbury's Dairy Milk Bar. It's just that your two packages were delivered before the Cadbury's Dairy Milk Bars were, so you lost out. Sorry.
You didn't put a return address on it, mate. What?
I know.
I tell you what, I can't bring myself to drink that tea bag. I'm going to keep it.
Yeah, so am I, yeah.
Keep it for next time I come down.
I was unfortunate enough to get some Yorkshire tea at the workshop this one time. Still there.
Here, Colin. Yeah, Colin, got one for you. Here you go.
Hey, boss man. Hey, I'll tell you what, that guy there changed my life.
There you go.
He absolutely changed my life, and the same for a lot of guys. You know what? What a guy.
Lance, you got to come on the show sometime. We'll have to reach out and have a chat. What we need to do is, we've had Stevie Buckle on. I think Steve's on with us tonight. How you doing, buddy? Colin's on. I think we need to do a whole old school Dent Master, like either reunion or just tick everyone off and get everybody on the show. Always a good chat.
I've heard about all the parties, so I'm game for that one.
Do you know, it was always Lance's birthday party on August Bank Holiday at the Manor House in Peplow. What a riot that was. That guy does know how to throw a party.
Lance says you changed your life, Colin.
There you go.
Well, it was a joint effort then. Let's agree on that.
Fair play.
Just say
Lorna and I.
Dom's just saying hello, mates from America.
How you doing, Dom?
Hey up, Dom.
Sorry, go on.
Lorna and I actually, but I don't know if you know, Lance currently runs a fantastic restaurant on the island of Antigua and Barbuda.
Is that Jackie O's or something?
Jackie O's Love Beach.
Nice.
And it's just one of these places that if don't show your lass, else she'll want you to go there, right? You'll have to take her there, right? It's just a beautiful, beautiful setting. And Lance, I've not been yet. Lorna and I have actually booked to go last November. Yeah. But obviously COVID hit, and then it got delayed till December, and then it got delayed till February, and then April or something, and now we're booked end of November this year. Yeah. So we'll get over to see you soon, Lance, hopefully.
Guess we'll just have to rely on good old Skeggy for now.
Yeah.
Good effort.
Right then. 1 hour and 30 minutes.
Boosh. We're a long time in.
Is that extra time?
We'll go penalties in a minute and lose, shall we? I don't know. Well, listen, I'll tell you what, we were going to get into some stuff about Google issues and all that kind of stuff, but to be honest with you, I think I might just do a bit of a Facebook Live on that another day or something, you know, because it's been such a good chat with yourself. It's getting late. Let's not get into all that now.
Well, I hope I've done you proud. It was a hard act to follow. You've had some cracking guests on here, and I've certainly enjoyed watching them.
Yeah.
And I've learnt a lot as well. So some of the newer guys that's come on and their Instagram game and stuff like that. I mean, I don't even have an Instagram account, but I can totally see how they are using it as a tool, and they're killing it. You know, they're obviously getting an awful lot of value out of it. So it's really interesting to see, and at some point, who knows? Maybe I might venture into the world of Instagram. I don't know. But
well, you've got yourself a YouTube channel, haven't you? That's doing all right, isn't it?
Yeah. To be fair, the best video on there that's doing any sort of number of views is one again that my son Chris put together for me. You remember the comparison between in fact, it was your Woyo, wasn't it? I borrowed your Woyo, Martin.
Oh, right, okay.
And I did a comparison between the Woyo and the B-Tag machines. And Chris was my cameraman. And I don't know if either of you have watched it, but the pinnacle,
many times. The
pinnacle of that is where we actually boil water with the hot box. That's science right there. That is where it's at.
Did you not make a cup of tea out of it?
After, of course we did.
Yeah, of course.
I hope you put goggles on and ear defenders.
Of course we did, yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, I'm going to copyright that because you used my product. I want the royalties. Come on.
You can't claim royalties off that. You stick to your YouTube channel and your 50 million followers.
It's not about me.
Good chat. Mate, I don't know. What are we, hour and a half?
Yeah, 24 people hanging on in there, and you got some really good comments.
Yeah, it's been...
comment section found us proud.
Comment section's been blowing up, and it's always nice to go back through them because you don't get a chance to see them all while we're doing the show. I try and get to that point where I have to turn them off because people just keep cracking me up and I can't concentrate. So it's nice to go back and read them all. But
I've not seen any of them yet. I don't know where any of the comments are.
Oh well, when you go into your bar area, you can read them, can't you?
There's a lot of love out there for you, mate. I tell you what, though, Cole, is there anywhere? I mean, I know you're not massively on social medias, etc. Is there anywhere people can get you?
I do have a personal Facebook profile. I do have the company's Facebook profile. The same for LinkedIn.
Yeah.
And I think that's probably it. Yeah.
So
Obviously, my website, woodpeckeruk.co.uk. Yeah. One day somebody will buy it. One day somebody will buy me an exhaust.
Just searching Woodpecker UK then, yeah.
Woodpecker UK, yeah. .co.uk for the hey up, Rob. And yeah, on in fact, actually, on the website, all my socials are listed in the. If you go to the repairs side of the website and then the contacts, all the socials are listed down there.
There you go. There's the website on the bottom of the screen now, woodpeckeruk.co.uk. If you're into any specialist tools and stuff like that, definitely go check it out, man. There's, I'm glad to hear you've got the hotbox stuff now. There's a lot of people that can benefit from that.
I've put the machines on tonight, and over the next few days, I'll actually be adding, I think, 4 of the actual heads. You know, the T hotbox comes with the small head, but they also do a very small head and the micro head. And I've actually drilled down. I got in touch with B-Tag and I drilled down into the specifications of all this. And I'd be really interested when I finally get these to actually show how they are different and how you can use them to make different repairs.
Perfect.
The micro one actually has a slightly smaller power output, but it concentrates it into a tiny area. So you'll be able to better control exactly where you're putting that heat and where the expansion is going to come from.
Yeah.
So
cool.
That's something to look out for in the future.
Mate, it's all good stuff. It's all education again. At the end of the day, you know, all these guys we have on the show, being able to bring some knowledge from a different angle about different tools or the social media. Is Mark falling asleep? You all right there, mate? Wakey. But no, yeah, it's wicked.
There you go.
Oh, nice one.
Yeah.
Tell you what, mate. Honestly, I thought you dozed off, but you're doing some research. Top man.
I was on it like a car bonnet.
Right, there's Cole's LinkedIn on the bottom of the screen now. I'm not going to read all that out.
Multitasking. That's impressive.
It's not his first rodeo, mate. It's not his first rodeo.
Oh, dear.
Well,
yeah, go on, keep talking.
Cole, fantastic, mate. We're really happy you've been able to join us tonight. And definitely when you are good and ready to talk a little bit more about this new venture of yours, tool-wise, please come back on. And
you'll be first to know.
Thanking you, sir. Appreciate that. And once again, I'm blessed to have been able to trial that bad boy out along with Martin as well.
Yeah, thank you very much.
Winner, chicken dinner. Winner.
Make sure you lock that workshop.
Make sure what now?
Make sure you lock the workshop. Don't let anybody in.
Don't let anybody in anyway.
That's it. Yeah, I've got to be careful what pictures I put up, haven't I?
Yep.
I nearly did it the other day because I do my I do the what's it called Insta Dents on Instagram on a Wednesday where I'll just chuck on sort of a few lives during the day, whatever we're doing. And I thought, do you know what? I'm going to leave it out this week because at some point I'm going to catch it in there and somebody's going to go, what's that? What's that? And then that's it. You know what the Dent crew are like? It's like photo screenshot around the world. Like, no.
WhatsApp groups.
Yeah. So I thought, do you know what? I'm staying off it this week.
Yeah. Thank you for that. Appreciate it.
Yeah, but we'll carry on getting videos to so we can show on the event for day. Yeah,
100%.
Yeah.
Happy days. Well, we've had 30 plus with us for the most of the night. I know it's been a long episode. We're down to about 20, but thank you so much for all of you guys for tuning in as always, and obviously showing a lot of love for Cole. Well deserved as well, by the way.
Thank you guys. Appreciate it.
There you go. It's been great chats, and it's always nice to hear the sort of backstory of all these techs we look up to, and I've got a lot of respect for, so it's nice. And I hope everyone's got a bit of value out of hearing Cole's story and somewhat inspired by the way he approaches things. I certainly am, and that's for sure. So
good.
I guess we'll wrap it up as we always do by saying thank you, but where can people find us on social media, mate?
Right then, so people can find us, follow us on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, search for us, Dent Guys.
That's the one, and we are on streaming services as well, and they are
Apple Podcasts, Spotify, Libsyn, iHeartRadio, search those Dent Guys.
That's the one, baby.
Hey, I'm on form. This is the first time I've ever been on form. You usually ask me a question at the end, and I'm like, oh.
Just to note as well, last week, was it last week? Yeah, the other week when we had the show with TDN, obviously we always put our shows up on YouTube. We are having some kind of massive technical issue with getting that episode sorted and exported to YouTube. I don't know what's going on at the minute. I will figure it out and it will get up on YouTube. But if you do want to watch the TDN episode, it is still on the Facebook page. We've left it up there for now. But it will be on YouTube and on all the streaming services as soon as I can sort them gremlins out. So thank you for being patient with us. I know there's a few folk that don't get on these Facebook lives and they're sort of like, where's the next episode? Where's the next episode?
Yeah.
Sorry.
That's normally me, to be fair. you have no idea what a rush it was to actually get here on time tonight.
Well, we did notice, mate.
Yeah.
25 past 8. Cole, where are you? I'm just in the shower.
Just having a wash.
Why have you got your phone in the shower though? That's my question. Cool. Well, guys, thank you so much for joining us. An hour and 40. You are hardcore for staying with us that long. And I hope it's been entertaining and informational for you. Have we got a show next week? I don't know. We'll figure it out as we always do. I guess we're fastly approaching a Friday Night Cheers episode because we've not had one for a while and we're approaching the end of the month.
Yes. Friday Night Cheers is at the end of the month.
That's right. I think that will be the next show.
Yes.
All right.
That's gonna be a cracker.
Yeah. No script, no anything. Just turn up, have a crack, and a nice little place to meet and talk dents and stuff. All right, guys. This has been Those Dent Guys. Thank you all for tuning in. And I've been Ben from Trident.
I've been Martin from Dent Remover.
And I've been Colin from Woodpecker.
Hey!
You all take care, guys. I'm going to slowly slow down my talking while I find the outro sequence so I can press it in time. We're saying bye. Ready, steady, bye.